Welcome to the field. I am Ninja. Today I will be reviewing the Schrade Tough Tool 20 ST1NB. Okay? Now before I begin my review, I'm just going to pull my notes out. Okay, in my Hobonichi. If you want to have a look at a review of this notebook, have a look at the link in the top right hand corner. Rightio. Okay, put that to the side. Okay, so I've had this tool for more than 8 years now. I do not remember how much I paid for it. I do remember it was pretty cheap, okay? And when I bought it, I didn't expect it to last more than a year. And it's lasted more than 8 years. So it is a testament to its name, Tough Tool. And I applaud it for that, okay? I have used this in the Outback extensively. I've used it in the home. I've used it on vehicles. Bushcrafting, all kinds of stuff, and it's held up to all those tasks. Okay, this comes with a sheath. Okay, it's a nylon sheath with a belt loop and a pocket clip as well. Rightio. This is really old now, and yeah, I just didn't like the look of it, so I went ahead and made my own leather sheath. Okay, now a lot of the testing I have done in this video is going to be whilst I made this leather sheath. Okay, so this really helped work the leather, and this was really tough leather. Okay, this was a leather I use. It's just about 2.5 millimeters thick, so it's pretty tough leather. So I really put this tool to the test. Okay, right, let's get the dimensions out of the way. So 210 millimeters. Width on the top, and that is 420 millimeters. The back, let's do that again with the nuts. So 382 millimeters. Thickness at the thickest part is 14.7 millimeters, 7.6 or 0.58 inches. $231 grams. Rightio. 8.1 ounces. 8.2. Okay, so one of the great features that this tool has is all the tools are accessible from the side, meaning you don't have to open up the pliers. You can just access the tools like this. Okay. That's it. So the name of the tool is Schrade Tough Tool 20. 20 signifying the number of tools that it has. Okay. Now we'll run through each one of those now. Needle nose pliers. Okay. Then your regular pliers. Rightio. Then you have the vise, so you can pretty much use this as a vise, which I have never done. Okay, put something in there and use it as a vise. You have wire cutters. Okay. Okay. And I will be showing you a test of almost every tool on this soon. Cap lifter and bottle opener, so this one here. Okay, you have your Phillips Screwdriver, which is a locking Phillips Screwdriver, this one here, which locks out. And you have a Scribe all and leather bore, which is this. However, I feel that you can bore leather better with this tool as well. And you can pretty much scribe on leather with this than with this. You have your locking dual edge knife blade, rightio. You have your metal file and your wood file. Okay. So then you have heavy duty scissors. Okay, I believe they're not really heavy duty. That's probably the one shortfall of this tool, and we'll discuss that. You have your locking heavy-duty saw blade. Really good saw blade on this thing. Okay. Flathead screwdriver, large and small. Your wire strippers. Okay. Scraping tool with your serrated blade, and also a fine blade here, plain edge. Your lanyard attachment, and yeah, that's 20. Okay, so the first thing we're going to test is the knife. First up, I'm going to test the knife on a large tree branch that I've cut from a tree. Next, I will show you how I use this knife to cut some thick leather. So once again, this is 2.5 millimeter thick leather. Radio. After all this, the knife was still able to cut me, so really good blade retention there. Next up, we'll be testing the saw. This is one of the best tools on the multi-tool. I'm going to first show you cutting a block of wood and then a thick tree branch. Next up, we'll be testing the 3 screwdrivers. So your Phillips head. This tool locks out, which really helps when removing or screwing in screws. Your flathead. The flathead screwdriver locks out, which is really good for when you're screwing down screws. And your fine head screwdriver. This tool also locks out. Next we're going to test this Sheepsfoot blade. This is a really useful tool. You just need to apply pressure on top of it, and you can scour the leather if you want to make cuts with another tool, or you can cut the leather here yourself. So this is about 1 millimeter thick leather. I'm also going to show you how I use this to cut a 2.5 millimeter leather as well, which is this one. Here I'm using the serrated part of the blade to cut some thick paracord. Next we're going to test the awl. Here I'm using the awl to generate some leverage to remove some staples. I just create enough leverage to push the staple out, and then I can remove it using my pliers. This is mainly what I use it for, and I can use this process on a nail as well sometimes. Now this tool is advertised as an awl and a scribe. I don't use it for that. I use the bottle can opener to do those things. Next I will test the bottle cap opener. Now this has quite a few functions. It has a really sharp blade at the end as well. Now I like to use the can opener to scour leather and to scribe it as well. So here I'm going to make lines in the leather. I'm going to make pretty deep cuts, and then obviously I'm going to use my knife to cut this later. So this makes it easy for my knife to cut it, and really makes some really nice deep cuts into the leather as well, because it has that sharp blade at the end. So yeah, really versatile tool. Because we scoured the leather with the can opener, it is now really easy to cut it with a knife, as you see here. I'm going to test the can opener with a large can. This is the largest can I could find. It has a diameter of 10 centimeters or 4 inches. Let's see how we go. Next I will test the scissors. Okay, This, in my opinion, is a bit of a weak point for this tool. Now these are advertised as tough scissors, heavy duty scissors. Now this is a 2.5 millimeter thick piece of leather, and they just can't seem to cut it. Okay, as you can see, it's taken quite a while to cut this piece of leather. Also, when trying to cut hoochie cord, which is what we call really thin rope in Australia, it really struggles. It's kind of a little thinner than paracord, and you'll see that at the end as well. However, it can cut cardboard and paper pretty well. So all in all, yeah, not the best pair of scissors on a multi-tool, but yeah, they get the job done. Next, I'm going to test out the file. Now this has two sides to it, a wood file and a metal file. However, I'm going to be testing both sides on the piece of wood we just cut using the saw. And we're going to try to get it as smooth as the other side. Radio. Now the saw doesn't walk out, so you have to hold it with your thumb, as you're seeing here, while I use it. You can also lay the saw on the ground or the table here and rub the wood against it. Next, I will test the wire strippers. Next, I am going to test out the lanyard hole. The first thing you need to do is make sure all the tools on the side with the lanyard hole have been pulled out. Okay, now the lanyard hole is 4 millimeters, which is really small, so you won't be able to feed normal paracord or hoochie cord through it. Okay, so what you need to do, cut out a really skinny piece of tape, then wrap the cut end of the cord with the tape, kind of like making a shoelace, rightio, which you then have to thread through the hole, okay, which you'll see in the video. And lastly, let's test the pliers, okay, and wire cutters. So first, I'm going to use the needle nose pliers to remove this snap fastener, which I put on by mistake. And now this is really tough to take off, but the needle nose pliers do a really good job, as you see. Next, I'm going to use the pliers to remove all the staples that we pushed out with our awl. Now this is where the needle nose really comes in handy because it can get into really fine points. Next, I will show you the plier being used to open a large nut. This is where we're using the regular pliers. Using this as a vise, you just lay it down like this, and whatever you want in there, you just put it in and you clamp it down, okay? It's not the best vise out there because I'm pretty sure it wasn't designed for that, but you can use it in that manner to hold things down, okay? Last but not least, I'm going to test out the wire cutters. This is really thin wire, I think 0.3 millimeters thick. I've joined two of them so I can get a better idea of how I can cut. I'll also cut the single wire by itself. And then lastly, I'm going to test the tool out on a key ring. Okay, this is really thick, so we'll see how it does. One word: wow. Concluding thoughts. Okay, so we have tested out every tool as I've shown you in the video. Now there are a million ways you can use these tools, rightio, if you wanted to. I have tested them out in certain ways because if I tested them out in every way possible, we'd be here forever, rightio. The only thing I didn't really get to test was the metal file, and we did test that on wood, rightio. I even went as far as testing the vise, which showing you how to use the vise, which I've never done before, okay? The wire cutter is really impressed with how they cut through really thick key rings, and the saw, really impressed with the saw, okay? Now, something I just found out recently is that this is standard issue to a lot of Australian soldiers, which means it is tried and tested in tough conditions out in the field, and that's a testament to the tool, okay? Now, if there's one thing you want to take away from this review, it's that, like I said at the beginning, I bought this tool for very cheap, and I thought it would last 1 year. It's lasted more than 8 years, and it's still going. Rightio, that's a testament to its name, the Schrade Tough Tool. It's tough, alright. Rightio. Now, if you want to watch how I made this leather sheath for this tool, please have a look at that video in the top right hand corner there.